Hey guys, it's Kayla Ewell from Directionally Challenged, a podcast about realigning your internal compass. New KFC chicken nuggets are finally here, and you have never had nuggets like these. All of the delicious KFC flavor you love in one amazing chicken nugget. 100% white meat, hand breaded in KFC's original recipe. Order new KFC fried chicken nuggets now, available at participating KFC near you. Guys, they're finger licking good.
Me. I am a memoir. I said a memoir. The meaning of Mariah Carey.
Hello, Emily. Welcome to another bonus episode. I don't know why I'm singing this one. This is Fab. That is Posh. We are now delving into MTV Unplugged +3.
I know. I noticed that when I was researching. I was like, what?
Well, the MTV Unplugged special was missing 3 songs.
Yeah.
So
We'll just put them in.
Just stick them on.
Yeah.
MTV Unplugged +3. The Mariah Carey EP, which was, I guess, her first live EP.
Yeah. We should mention we are again face to face.
We are again face to face
crazy.
in this echoey cupboard where we've chosen to record this week. And we are, so because this is a bonus episode, we have no meme moments.
No.
All we have is breaking me on down.
Yeah. Getting straight to it.
Shall we?
I think so.
All right.
Breaking me on down.
All right. So we've got the MTV Unplugged, a US number 3
US
EP,
number 3.
and an Oz number 7. What were we thinking?
Well, we didn't buy albums very much back then.
true.
Also, the 90s were a very grungy time. If you look at the success of the Impossible Princess album, was huge here.
Yes.
But not
nowhere
overseas
else.
because that was Kylie being experimental.
Yeah.
So very big commercial things like Mariah were not as big here as they were overseas.
Yeah.
But they were still big for me.
Of course.
And there was a single from this that was massive and played everywhere.
That is true. Rule number 1. Now, this was recorded and released after Emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And Mariah was being accused of being a studio artist.
I know, she can't sing live. It's all studio trickery.
I know, unable to recreate her original vocals.
It's all auto-tune before they invented auto-tune.
Now, this made no sense, as she had done live performances. And it's very common, of course, for any artist to do their best work in a studio because they have the time and the space.
You can take it to another take.
To do other takes.
Yeah.
And maybe the lower register does not happen in that day. So they do it tomorrow.
Also, big fans like myself who had a VHS player, could have watched the First Vision video, which had a couple of those live performances, that was only really released in full this, last 6 months or whenever it was, during the MC30 business. We've never seen all that before, but we got to see Don't Play That Song For Me, and I think Vanishing from that was on the video. So we knew she could sing live. The super fans.
Yeah. Oh.
But, the incidentals who just were listening to it on the radio, they had no idea. And they were about to be proved very, very wrong.
Oh. I just thought, what a stupid thing to get bullied over.
I know.
Anyway.
Well, it's because, Whitney Houston toured with one album.
I'd tour with no album.
I know you would.
I'm touring right now.
I went to see Whitney. All right, are you ready for the tarp? I don't know if I've told this story.
All right.
I went to see Whitney when I was in year, I don't know, what was it, been 85? So I was year 9 maybe? Year 8 on year 9? Sitting across from me at the entertainment centre. They hadn't even built the tennis centre yet. Sitting across from me, we saw Kylie. Jason, and Danny.
Stop
All
it.
at the Whitney Houston
That's
concert.
amazing.
When they were on Neighbours.
Oh, Kylie's hair got right in the way.
Right in the way. And also, like, so Whitney only had the one album, and she sang I Want to Dance with Somebody, and we were like, this is the best song ever. And she's like, oh, it's from my new album. I can't wait for you to hear it. I was like, I love this song. I still love that song so much. So yeah, the first time I heard that was in a concert.
That's pretty... With Kylie.
With Kylie in the room.
All I can picture, though, is Whitney had a very particular way of speaking.
Yes.
So, like, the way you said, this is my new song, can't wait for you to hear it, it'd be more like, this is my new song! Can't wait for you to hear it! Let's go!
Want to dance?
That's pretty amazing, though, because that's like, you know, I know people who went to Whitney a little later, and perhaps it wasn't as great an experience. So, how awesome to see her.
I cried during All at Once.
Amazing.
I know.
This is why I went to see Cher, just because I was like, we might not have a lot of the legends for a lot longer. I'm going to go see Cher. So, in this special, we have Walter Snuffleupagus.
Yes.
We've got David Cole. We've got
They
the Price
both play the
Sisters.
piano. The Price Sisters.
It's a whole gang.
Trey
The whole gang's
Lorenz.
here.
It's all going on.
All right. Are we ready to dive in? Individually. We start with Emotions.
Yes.
A much more dramatic intro.
Yes.
Apparently, this is the only song where they did 2 takes, as Mariah wasn't happy with the verse.
Oh.
So Mariah's spoken before about sometimes with the special and stuff, you do a few takes. From what I could find out, everything else was pretty much as it was.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, emotions, she's like, I didn't feel the emotions. There wasn't enough of them.
Yep.
So we're going to do it again.
You know what I think it was? Maybe 1 or 2 of your finger in the ear notes were not quite.
Sure, yeah.
Because there are a lot of them.
There are a lot of them.
You have to do it a lot.
Yeah.
And I reckon the second take she would have gone, first take might have been good enough, but just
I want to get it.
I just want to really nail some of those notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and she nails all of them.
Yeah.
Like, it is spectacular. I love the honky-tonk piano.
Ooh,
like,
love
David
honky-tonk.
Cole just banging away at that piano. And, like, the build-up to the start of the song.
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh, it's so
it gives
good.
the song a slightly different effect. You know, it sort of hits you differently.
Yeah.
I find. So,
Because it's a very highly produced song.
Yes.
Like, the actual
this gives
single.
it's literally a live feel, which I know that sounds stupid, but like, they don't... Because you can still overproduce things live.
You can.
And they really don't. So that was fun. No, I like this version. I think it captures the original, but gives it just that little bit of a boost, a little more reality.
Also, because, like, she's doing almost all the vocals, I guess, in the recorded version, like, hearing other people sing the background vocals gives it a bit more kind of nuance as well.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, she's just singing the lead now. Like, we've only got Mariah doing one line of vocals in this.
That's where our car karaoke, like, that's where we learned what the main bit is.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's that bit, not that other bit. So for this one, I was very tempted to go Infinity, but I couldn't say I liked it more than the original.
Yes.
I'd say it's on the same, which was an Infinity minus for me.
Right.
Which is still an Infinity.
Yeah.
It's better than a 5+.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like an A- instead of a B+.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't quite... I wouldn't say I enjoy it more or less than the
original is so good.
Exactly.
Yeah. It is such a great song. And yeah, and the live version is really... It has something special, but you're right. It's the same. So still Infinity for me.
Yeah. Do you remember the scores you've given? Probably not.
Probably not.
I've got mine written down. All right, now we smashed into If It's Over, another version that I watched because I've got the EP, but I wanted to see it as well.
Yes.
Which I've seen it before in bits, but I was like, no, I'm going to watch it from start to finish. It was just omitted. Someone was like, I don't like If It's Over. I heard that podcast, and I'm not listening to that song. But this was released in Australia and got to number 115.
Yeah.
We were both a little underwhelmed by the studio version. How do you feel about this one?
I adore the live version. This is one of those ones that is redeemed by this performance. That because of the structure of the song, because it's got that very kind of soul bluesy sort of feel to it, that you really like. You can really go to town on it, and she does. She's like, yeah, I'm ripping the lid off, and I am singing the bejesus out of this. And she does, and it, like, I feel like that is something that's lost in the studio version because it feels like they're trying to capture that live feel.
Yeah, it feels compressed.
Yeah, it just feels like, like maybe this was a good take of it. I don't know. I wasn't there. I can't tell you. But this is an amazing take of that song. I would totally release this above the actual produced album version.
Soul's Kaz.
I mean, she still wrote it. It's still her song.
That's true.
But yeah, it is. I actually much prefer this to the album version. Yeah, and to the point where, like, watching it again because I don't think I've been to MTV Unplugged in years, and I was just like, oh wow, yeah, this is much better than I remember. Yeah. So yeah, I'm infinitying. It's so cold.
Goodness.
It's so good. And because I heard, as I've heard it, back to back almost, hearing the produced version. Yeah. And then seeing this live and going, oh, no, she really tears into it. She's she loves this song. Yeah. Even though now does not.
Yeah. Well, this was the thing. When I was thinking, I definitely gave it a better score than the produced version. Because I actually gave it, I think the album version a higher score than you did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the one. So I didn't hate it, but yeah, I agree. It just felt a little bit for this version. I definitely think it's a bit better. I don't think it's marginally better. Oh my god, but I agree with the performance side and the live feel. Yeah, because there's a lot more power. So I don't think it necessarily makes the song better.
No, the song's still the song.
But she delivers. So her performance gets an infinity, but the song gets 4.25, which is up half a point.
Half a point from your 3.75.
Yeah. Okay, now I'd like to dedicate this next song to anyone who's ever been dumped by someone they love. It's called Someday.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to dive into this one because I love me some Someday.
You love it already.
Iconic intro. It repeats the bridge and the beginning, and it doubles down on the best bit. I sing it all the time.
Maybe now you just can't conceive that the liver comes.
No. And I do it even without making noise. I'm agreeing. Mm-hmm. As it comes on in the car, I'm like, you can't hear me, but I'm nodding for those. Yes. This is an audio medium. Now, this is also Mariah's preferred version.
Yes.
I would like to ask her if this is probably the one.
This is her preferred arrangement.
Yes, I should say. I'm wondering if it's that nowadays is she opposed to the song full stop because there's memories attached to it.
Maybe.
If she's not, just sing this version all the time.
I think she does.
Well, she has, but she still doesn't include it much. I'm maybe it's because she just doesn't like it that much.
She's got a big catalogue now. She'd be on stage for 4 days if she sang all of her good songs.
And? Are you complaining?
Well, she needs her vocal rest.
That's true.
We don't want to break those chords. We need them in our life.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I also would really like this arrangement in the original key.
Oh, yeah.
I think that'd be fun. Because sometimes the parts that are fun to sing for me from this version are the beginning and the bridge and everything. And the rest of it's fun. But I find that the poppy bounciness of the original, because it's slightly higher, the verses are sort of more fun. They feel a bit fuller.
Yes.
So that's not taking away from the actual live version at all. It's just that I'm like, oh, imagine that exact arrangement, but pumped up.
Yeah.
A key. Ooh. We're getting hi, Mariah. Mariah.
Hiya, Mariah. Hiya.
Hi. So how's your...
I do love this one. And weirdly, so in my head, I was like, oh yeah, I can't wait for the MTV Unplugged someday, because I remember it being a revelation at the time. And then I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, it's still that arrangement that I love, but it's not the version I was remembering.
Oh. Okay.
So it's good.
To look up another version.
I love it. But later, when we do our concert,
so
our concert reviews, you will come across my preferred
Okay.
performance of Someday. But I think Mariah gives this her all, and the Price Sisters elevate this to a place where it has not been before. So this is a much better version.
Yeah.
But it's it's still Someday, which is not my favorite song.
See, I love it. I gave it an Infinity Plus. Infinity Plus!
This for me is 10 on the cusp of infinity.
We don't even go to 10, but okay.
Okay, no, 9-finity.
We go 5.
No, so yeah, just close to infinity, but not quite.
All right, so after this, Mariah is like, that's it, no more high notes. LOL jokes! Just kidding! And she introduces her first singular, Vision of Love.
Yes.
Now, this is a fairly faithful version.
Yes.
Mariah does have a stool moment, which is not a number 2. She just sits on a stool. We have some iconic live runs that the Lamley will recognise.
Mm.
But I got some comments on that. But you tell me your thoughts.
So, Walter Afanasieff's piano makes me think if he produced this in the first place, it would not have been the success it was. Because he's bringing his weird 50s kind of sound to it. You know, that he brings to like Forever and, Underneath the Stars and all that kind of stuff. That's his weird thing that he can kind of pulls in. So yeah, and I don't really like his arrangement of it. And I love Mariah's performance, but there is a bit where she feels like she forgot to sing a bit.
Yeah.
Towards the end. And she's just like, I can catch up with myself. I'm skilled.
Yeah.
And the fact that she did a retake of Emotions and not this makes me go, she's maybe divorced herself from this a little bit emotionally because of the difficulties with Ben Margulies.
Yeah, maybe.
And she's gone, I know it's my biggest song and everyone loves it, but it was a difficult
I think some of it is
separation.
Also, this song in particular, we've mentioned how it's kind of like she's singing 2 songs, even 3 at points. Perhaps she'd yet to figure out the exact parts of the final third, where she wanted to go, and that was almost like a hesitation, like
it was almost like Trey's singing that bit. Okay, I will sing this.
But I did recognize that.
I've missed that.
I did spot it, and it feels awkward. Yeah, for a moment.
But yeah, I love like Trey's voice. Like how she says in a chapter of the book, she's talking about how their voices were so simpatico. Like there is a moment where he's singing her BVs from this, and you're like, I see why you are so in love with his voice, because he's singing your notes to perfection. And like this is actually a really good song for him, as much as he gets a whole song to himself on this album. Like this is a great song for him and his very, very sturdy background vocals. But and I mean it's good, it's fine, it's Vision of Love, but it's not the album. And there is something about that lush, rich production of the single that is just kind of missing with Walter banging away at the piano. So I like it, but it's, I mean, Vision of Love is always an Infinity song. Yeah. But I'm minusing some points off because it's not the vision I wanted.
I pretty much did the exact same thing. I gave it Infinity minus.
Yeah.
Because I've given the original Infinity because it's Vision of Love.
It's Vision of Love.
But I agree, the end feels a little clunky, and I know of a much better version that I know it from being on the Open Arms single. Yes. But I believe it's either from I think it's actually from the Madison Square Garden, which was around Fantasy, I think. Yeah. I think it's from that, but it could also be from the one around...
And I've seen so many live versions of this where you just go, oh, there it is. And now she knows what she's doing.
The version I'm thinking of, it's just that she's got the live version down pat now. Yeah. It's like, no more awkward pauses. I know what I'm doing here. Yeah. And I found a new way of singing this song that I like. Yeah, and you feel that in it. So
I do really love her recovery, like just from a performer's point of view. Like so many people, we've seen it where people are in the middle of a song, they they stumble where they are and just go, I have no recovery. I am just going to la 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 to the end now. And you're like, what happened to you?
I do remember one time I was doing a Christmas show. It was for Mama Alto.
Yes.
And I had been asked to do Santa Baby. But every night there was different guests. And you were singing, for some reason, in Santa Baby, Mama's verses alternated.
Yep.
So I had the version that I had and had learned those verses because Santa Baby is very difficult because it's the same thing with slightly changed words.
Yes.
And you go, hang on, is it the Tiffany's verse? Or is it, do I want a yacht? So in my head I was like, okay, yacht, Tiffany, whatever. Like I just had my three in my head.
Yeah.
But I think, and this is all love, but I think one night Mama sang the previous night's vocal allocation. And I was sitting there going, oh my God, you just sang the part that I'm meant to sing and I don't know the other verse. And it's too confusing a song. It's like 6 verses that are the same. Yeah. And so I just started singing. And I remember it was like, Mama just saw my verse. Uh-oh. I don't know what to do. And I was so proud of myself because those are the most terrifying moments. Yeah. There was another time I had to sing Alanis Morissette that I would be good. And the music just wasn't there. Oh. And so I had to sing it a cappella. And that's fucking terrifying. Like, at least, it's fucking terrifying. But
I'm better a cappella. Like, I'm
because I don't have to follow anything.
I'm not keeping up with anyone. I don't have to care what with tempo. I can speed up if I want. I'm changing the key now. Yeah, I'm doing in the middle of this note. Yeah.
But that's kind of the thing. You don't have any guide. So you just sing it. Luckily, it was at a particular point in the show that allowed for space, I suppose. But I was shitting myself. But because the show must go on and you're there, people are paid for it. So you're like, well, I'll do it. And so it went fine. And the thing that made me laugh, no one noticed. I was standing there for a good 20 seconds going, is that going to happen? No, I had to signal the tech. And he's like, nope, it's not going to happen. Okay, well, I'll just sing it. But those are the things that it's like being thrown into the deep end. That's one of the most terrifying things that I could have thought of as a performer. But it happened and I did it and I got on with it.
I got booked for a gig once for...
Good for you.
I know. They were doing the whole of the Dirty Dancing album. Okay. And I got You Don't Own Me.
Is that the song from First Wives Club?
Yes, First Wives Club and also Handmaid's Tale. I turned up in a red Doona cover and with a piece of paper on my head. But
you were just a Diane Keaton.
Yeah. No, but I know the Leslie Gore song and I forgot that the one on the Dirty Dancing album is a cover and it's very different arrangement.
Oh, so really?
I got there and I was like, oh, okay, it's that one. And it was fine, but I did lose my way a little bit towards the end and just went, I'll just belt the rest of the song. So I kind of
make it happen.
It was like that. I was like, you don't own me. I just held it for hours. Like,
it's a flying.
It was serious. It was like the weirdest. I was like, I've lost my way. But if I just hold one note for here, they'll just keep playing and then I'll hear when I stop.
You were still there 3 days later.
Yeah, I'm still there now.
Don't remember how we got here, but let's move on.
Anyway.
Hey guys, it's Kayla Ewell from Directionally Challenged, a podcast about realigning your internal compass. New KFC chicken nuggets are finally here, and you have never had nuggets like these. All of the delicious KFC flavor you love in one amazing chicken nugget. 100% white meat, hand-breaded in KFC's original recipe. Order new KFC fried chicken nuggets now, available at participating KFC near you. Guys, they're finger-licking good.
Speaking of screaming, make it happen, we're on to Make It Happen.
Make It Happen. Now, you know what I did love about Make It Happen is that David Cole and Walter Afanasieff played the piano together. Crossing over fingers, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. It's quite a cute moment.
It's literally DP.
Yeah.
They're double pianoing.
DPing everything.
I think it's become my favourite thing ever since Kelly Ripa said it. Instead of shag, marry, kill, she's like, can't I just have a marry and a DP? And I genuinely died. I was like, oh my God. Because it's Kelly Ripa. Like,
I know, she's the nicest person ever.
And it was next to her husband.
Yeah.
And he was terrified. How did we get there? Yeah, double piano playing. So, okay. I do think this one works better live.
Oh, yeah.
Because it takes those churchy elements and basically puts it in a church.
Yep.
So you feel like you're part of it. You're like, yes, suddenly I believe too.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness. I did right. Needs to be in Sister Act 3.
Yeah.
I think Sister Act was already done
Yeah.
when these songs were being recorded. But I was like, absolutely. Sister Act 3.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Mariah and Ms. Lauryn Hill.
Yeah. Like I said, I was not a huge fan of this song, but this arrangement, this ebullient, very, like you say, churchy, gospel-y vibe just makes it so much better than the produced version. Like, I feel like this is what the video clip was getting across.
Yes, yeah.
That the production doesn't quite match up to.
Yeah.
Also, maybe because David Cole is interrupting all of Walter's plodding piano playing.
Yeah. They weren't meant to play together. He just noticed it in Vision of Love. I was like, shove, love.
But yeah, it's joyous and it's fun and I actually prefer this to...
I think I do too.
To the produced version.
Yeah, now that I've compared them properly, I would agree. So originally, I think I'd given the original version a 3.5 and then I boosted it to a 4. But when she starts screaming, I put that to a 4.5 because I like a scream.
Yeah, I love a scream.
With this version, I couldn't go and say that I enjoyed it more than some of the other songs even on this EP. So I thought I'll boost it all to a 4.5 out of 5 so that it's on the same level now because I felt like she's brought the verses up to where the second half of the song is. Yeah. So that's where it's sitting for me. No,
this goes to infinity.
Okay.
Because there's too much joy. There's too much fun. Like it's too exciting. It is the song that it should be.
True.
Like, given we know how much this song means from having read the book. Mm-hmm. Like, this is
the icy flaps.
The icy flaps are right on display.
I can finally see them now we're in person.
Yeah.
All right. I'll Be There.
I'll Be There.
Now, this was a cover of the Jacksons song, Feet, Trailer Ends.
Yeah.
It got to number 1 in the US.
Yes.
Number 9 in Australia. What were we thinking?
That's a big song. A top 10 is big.
It is big. But still, it's Mariah. They should all be number 1.
Yeah.
Luckily, she made up for it with her Almost Home going to number 1 for 9 years.
Yeah, 9 years.
Still there. Now, is this one of Mariah's first official shared vocal moments?
Yeah,
in terms of like getting an actual feature.
I mean, the Price sisters have been very prominent in the rest of this thing.
Yes.
But
I should point out, I'm going to blank on her name right this second, but there is a third singer.
Yeah.
Backing singer. Actually, there's a fourth and fifth. But with the girls, it's not just the Price sisters. No. There are other backing singers.
But they're just
the prominent known names.
Yeah. And they also, when we get into the remixes, like, they turn up.
Okay.
They turn up when she's having a splash with David Morales. And they're like, yeah, well, I'll sing this.
Yeah. I think I do. I've made notes. I think it must be for maybe a future special on the little music box. They must feature in there. I'm blanking, but I'm sure I've written notes about Kelly Price in particular.
But I think this is her first kind of duet, essentially.
The one that started it all.
I know. And
maybe he just sang so much of it, she's like, oh, fuck, I have to better, You sang 76%, you say? All right.
It's Trailer Ends. He's a delight.
But it was really fun to watch him doing it, to actually and know a little bit more about who he is and his history and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
With Mariah. So... apparently, this was a last-minute edition.
Yeah.
When Mariah found out that they normally would do a cover.
Yeah.
In the MTV Unplugged. I'm trying to think of what the Cause did, but I can't.
Well, I mean, the most famous one obviously is Nirvana doing "Man Who Sold the World."
Oh, I don't know that.
It's like that was the MTV Unplugged kind of like. That's where it became.
I knew that they were on it, but
thing.
I didn't know about the cover.
Yeah. It's a David Bowie song. Like everyone thinks it's a Nirvana song.
I thought for some reason, and this I don't believe this is MTV Unplugged, but I thought it was going to be Layla. But I don't think that's from MTV Unplugged. But it is a very famous cover.
But yeah, so it's that's a big part of MTV Unplugged is doing a cover and just I love this so much. This song.
Well, I love hearing other singers take on songs, just because there was one thing that the early Britney albums always did was a cover.
Yes.
And it made people like me, now I know who the Rolling Stones are because she did a cover of Satisfaction. You don't have to like the version, but it's like it kind of educates the next generation.
I discovered the Supremes
through Kim Wilde.
Through Kim Wilde and Phil Collins. They both had songs out, and
I do love the Kim Wilde version.
Oh, so good. It's the Stock Aitken Waterman special.
Who originally did? Because that was "Keep Me Hanging On," wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who originally did "If I Can't Have You"?
I Don't Want Nobody, Baby.
Yeah. That's a cover too.
I think that's on Saturday Night Fever. I think it's
let me Google.
a Bee Gees by way of Yvonne Elliman, maybe? Is that her name? But I love hearing Mariah sing "I'll Be There" mainly because it's the first time she's ever sung a cover of someone of the same age as her when they originally sang it.
She had to wait until she was old enough. I really like that there's no studio version to compare it to. So this is the version.
Yeah.
And
when you compare it to Michael Jackson at the age of 7.
But it's just so crystal clear. They just do such a good job. It's lovely.
Yeah.
So I did say I've not lived with it long enough to go full infinity. So I gave it a 5, but I think it'll climb.
Oh no, I'm totally infinity.
Infinity.
I think I'm going to end up infinitying this entire album.
So. Now we are up to the final track, a little "Can't Let Go."
Mm-hmm.
Now, Kelly Price said that this was genuinely last minute.
Yeah.
That they had not rehearsed any of this.
I mean, Everyone she says that, but you go.
But Kelly was saying, no, this was because this happens all the time.
Yeah.
But genuinely, this did not happen. This was not planned, and it just was by chance that they knew it. You know, and that's why I think it's a much more sort of stripped back, sparse vibe, which is actually quite nice.
Yeah.
So I did like the stripped backness, but I would say I think it's missing a little bit of lift.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the original, like that the piano going into the chorus, like that really gets me ready.
Yeah,
and it just those kind of elements just don't feel quite as strong.
Yes,
for me in this. Where does this sit for you?
I really like this one. Like I love the original. Obviously, it has but I really do love this. It feels spontaneous. I love this.
Spontaneous Mariah.
Spontaneous Mariah. And the way she says, "Oh, we weren't going to do this one, but I'm not used to doing this. You made it great for me." And it's like, it just feels so sweet. And it feels like, what she talks about with singing Hero for the fans.
Yeah. And
just that moment of like, I feel like you guys have given me such a joyous moment here that I'm just gonna sing this song. And the same thing happened when I saw her in Sydney, at the, I don't even know what it's called this week.
Petrol station?
The petrol station arena.
BP Arena.
The BP Arena. Like they change its names every 3 weeks. But in Olympic Park. And
I thought Marvel Stadium was a joke.
Yeah, no, that's a real name. But yeah, so she was tooling about and singing it. And she's like, "Oh, I don't normally do this. Should we do it?" Like she was just like I think the backup singers were singing it for the fun of it.
Sure.
And she's like, "Oh, should we just do it?" And she just rolled on into it. And it was like, oh, wow. Like, I did not expect "Can't Let Go" to be in her repertoire anymore.
Yeah.
And they just went, yeah, all right, we'll do it.
And just to remember, like, I forget things all the time, things that I should know out of my head.
Yeah.
So it's good. Maybe she'd, like, just that week, she'd thought of it. And like, I'm going to listen to it.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean, it is her job to sing songs.
That's true. There's a lot, you know.
There are a lot of songs in her repertoire. But yeah, I really love the song, and I really like this kind of stripped back, very spontaneous, very, And I know you're never going to have that same kind of produced climb in a song sung live. Like, it just can't happen.
Oh, well, I mean, she's done it on some of these songs.
Yeah, but
this was unrehearsed. So.
Yeah, but I think, you know, like one of my favorite ever songs, I'm just like, she would never sing that live, and I don't think she ever could sing that live because it is like, it has a big climb and a massive big belt at the end, and it's just
Prisoner.
Yes, Prisoner. But
It's a song we've never mentioned. Prisoner. Almost home.
But yeah, I just really like the simplicity of it. So yeah, I mean, it's not, like you say, it's not the same as the produced one, but
wait, which song were you talking about?
This one, Can't Let
Oh,
Go.
what's Can't Let Go? Okay.
No. Like, I was talking about another one, but
what was it?
She's never sung it live, so it's from the next album.
Okay,
so
you'll
we'll
touch
get
it.
there. But yeah, I just
Ken Lee.
Ken Lee.
So live and live without you.
No, she can do that live so
yeah, that's true.
effortlessly. It's amazing. But yeah, I really love it. I like it in a different way to the produced one from the Emotions album, but also because Emotions is such a weird, unfinished kind of. It feels, you know, kind of rushed and pushed out in a hurry. So actually, this feels like it sits better on this album than it does on Emotions, if that makes sense. Like, because we've had, you know, the big highs of I'll Be There. Yeah, this feels like a nice
coming down moment.
Yeah, it feels like a nice kind of segue into the +3.
Okay, so for this one now, I had given the original a 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Because it is sort of slightly newer for me. So I thought I can't quite match it to that. So I'm going to go 4.5. But that's a pretty damn good score for something that is unrehearsed.
Yes.
Like, this is... I am a hard marker. We know this.
We know.
So this is good shit.
Well, yeah, I'm giving this an infinity.
Okay.
So I can just have a full house of
Everyone's
infinity.
gasping with shock. He's never done that before. We'll get to the end of this podcast and it will be like the reveal will be that you just did it to make me look shit. You like actually hated that song, but I gave it an infinity, so everyone hates you.
I've been honest about the ones I don't like.
It's true. If it's over, which you just gave infinity.
I know, because it's an amazing version.
All right, so we're at the point where we can wrap this up, but I've got a few little moments from this EP. So the special was so successful that it aired 3 times more than the other MTV Unplugged. Apparently they would cycle it for like 6 weeks and then they'd retire it. But no, this one went for 3 times that. Thank you, Mariah. And it was so successful that Sony decided to release it obviously as the EP. Because Mariah was busy working on Music Box. Now there was some weird thing that they were like, we're going to release it as an album. Oh, but Mariah's busy working on Music Box. We'll release it as an EP. I'm like, well, it still would have been an EP. What are you talking about? Like, it didn't make any sense. Yeah. But maybe they meant like an official, like, Mariah tours it kind of thing. But she was already deep into...
Unless what they were going to do was send her back in and make her record 3 new songs.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Unplug it again.
Like, they just plugged 3 singles into it, I think. It's very strange.
Now, another thing from Mariah, she said that it made her relax more about the raw performances because she was such a perfectionist. She's like, we need to do it all again. Yeah. But obviously the setup for this was just do it. So maybe doing Emotions twice was a bonus. Like maybe she didn't have that much time. But yeah, she normally really struggled with wanting to make everything perfect. But this taught her that usually the raw takes are usually better.
Why are you laughing about that?
I don't know. It's just when I saw the word.
You thought of steak, I get it.
Yeah,
and the irony that...
Well, because the house nearly just burnt down because someone was
that was
overcooking.
last week. Has that been done again?
Yes.
Oh my God, your house
The
is
same
so
guy
busy.
hasn't learned his lesson.
Mistake.
That was a mistake. So yeah, those just little moments that Mariah likes it raw. Mistake.
Stop saying raw.
So some little overall thoughts.
Mm.
I mean, it's one of the most listenable live albums I've ever come across.
Yeah.
I worry sometimes that the way I score, people are like, oh, he must hate it. It's not true at all. I think it's really quite great. And there's nothing down on here. And I actually think, I was going to say, the length is actually just right. But now everything's dirty. But it's true. Feel like
it has been quite some time between drinks for you, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
it feels like a good amount.
I'm very frightened being in the same room with you right now.
He thirsty.
Crossing my legs.
He thirsty. He thirsty. You are over 50 now, though. Do you need help to run across them?
How very dare you. I resemble you.
I don't know why. In my head, it's like once you cross your legs, it's like, oh God. But I'm doing that at 31.
The
so what the fuck am I
arthritis.
doing?
The arthritis kicks in. I don't know arthritis.
Here's Arthur.
It's my drag king name.
Yeah.
Arthritis.
This is my leg uncrosser. Arthritis. What are we even saying? I should stop age shaming you. But I think, when I think of live albums, even prior to really digging into it, this was definitely one of the ones that I go, yes. I tried to find it on more lists. It's not on them. It needs to be. People making live album lists.
Yeah. I mean, it's on a list of the best MTV Unplugged.
Definitely. I did know of the Nirvana. I can think of the Alanis Morissette.
I think there's an Eric Clapton.
Maybe that was when he did Layla.
Yeah. I think he did Layla.
Yeah,
in his
that's
MTV
what I was talking
Unplugged.
about.
Yeah.
I didn't realise it was MTV Unplugged.
But
I know the Cause they released a single called Radio, which was their song.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they did a cover. But that's all I can think of.
Yeah, the MTV Unplugged. Well, it went away for a long time, and I think it came back in the last few years.
Oh, okay.
But, it's... I think a few people started to hook into it like it was, it desperately needed to be done to raise my profile and sell some of my old albums. Whereas Mariah only had two.
I can either die or do MTV Unplugged.
Which way is going to sell my old albums better?
So yes, for this one, it's hard because I still know there's stuff to come.
Yep.
So I'm not quite ready to go super high on the score for the album just yet, not the EP. But I guess
this is her prime. This is her prime years. Like we are.
Yeah, but we're still going to have a better vision of love coming.
Here we are.
We know this.
That's true.
So I gave it a 4.25, which is still higher than the first 12.
You get into quarters.
I know, because think ahead.
We should be doing them out of 100, so you've got more range.
Yeah. So 88.3.
You still get into the points.
Yeah. I'm thinking of Metacritic. So what would your score be for this?
Oh, Infinity +3, like their title.
And do you have a fave and a least favourite from this? It's hard because they're songs we already know and love.
Yeah, look, I kind of go in and out of favourites with this one, but I can never let go of "I'll Be There." Like,
sure.
It is such a moment. It is such a. Also, maybe because it's the only one on there that's not one of her other songs.
Yeah, sure, something new.
New
Raya.
Yeah, it's because it's like, oh, is it emotions? Is it Make It Happen? Is it the spectacular performance of If It's Over? Like, which is it? Like, but it's I'll Be There.
Okay. I think my favourite is, just because it's always my favourite, is Someday.
Yeah.
But now I'm trying to figure out what was my actual lowest score for what would be my least favourite. I guess
I think you like this more consistently than either of her first two albums.
No, I agree. I think I did too. Some of that is because now I know the songs a bit better.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. I think she's... Yeah, even songs like If It's Over. So that was a 4.25. That was my lowest score.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Whereas the albums have had 3s on them.
Yeah. Well, You're So Cold. But I think the other thing is live music doesn't age as poorly as some produced
Yeah.
stuff. So maybe that's come into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe, I guess based on the scores, my least favorite is If It's Over, but simply because it's just not my favorite song.
Yeah.
But the performance was still good, which is why it got a high score. Your least favorite is probably going to be Someday, and I might have to punch you with that mirror.
Weirdly, my least favorite is probably Vision of Love.
Yeah, look, I couldn't say it because I gave it an infinity
'Cause it's
minus
Vision
or
of
something,
Love.
or a 5. No, I gave it a 5 because it's Vision of Love. But look, I probably agree, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Because it's like,
Now I'm disgusted.
I mean, Vision of Love has so much expectation on it. It is such a big, iconic
and to
song.
stumble at the biggest moments,
Yeah.
as well, kind of going,
It's not even like
Not
a stumble.
you know
It's like
a hesitation or a pause.
It's like I don't know if I want to go there. You know what I think it might have been? I think she might have been contemplating a squeal.
Right.
Having just said, I'm not doing any more squeals.
Yeah.
And gone, no. I've sung Emotions twice.
Yeah.
And
There's a lot of squeals.
like, we don't know that because we haven't
Yes.
seen that. But
Yeah.
in reality, she's sung Emotions twice. She's
Belted If
squealed
It's Over.
all the way through Someday.
Yeah.
Like the end of Someday is a lot of whistle register. So I reckon it was just a moment of, I'm not going to risk the whistle.
Yeah.
I will just bail on the whistle
Yeah.
and then sing my way through to the end of the song.
And again, because it's early in her live performing
Yeah.
career, she has said, like, she now knows when she goes to do it. She said it happens all the time.
Yeah.
She'll go to do it. It's like, oh no. So she'll go, huh? Ugh.
Yeah.
Like, and it was kind of that. So you might be right.
Yeah,
And she
I
just
reckon-
hadn't quite got the
Because she does, like,
speed of it.
when she
Yes.
sings it live, she does chuck a whistle in
Yeah.
when she's really going for it.
Yeah.
So I think she was just like, having done this on the back of Someday, like, I reckon
Because
that
literally, Emotions, If It's Over, which is a belter, and
Yeah.
then Someday. It's a 3 big songs.
was just like, I've got to bring this thing home.
Yeah.
I've got to do Vision of Love at the end.
Quick gargle backstage before I come out. But that brings us to the end of the episode. We have covered MTV Unplugged.
I know.
We can plug it back in,
We
darling.
can plug it back in.
Raw.
Stop raw dogging it. Stop it with your
We're just
raw
as
dogging.
hectic in person.
Inside. Hectic inside.
Hectic inside.
We are inside.
Raw.
Stop saying raw.
What is it good for?
At the end of the podcast. Podcast, baby. Almost there, almost home. You could probably say, but you won't because of copyright. Copyright, that's a no.
All right. So we are almost home. After that epic trawl through the MTV Unplugged. We do have another couple of chapters coming up soon and more bonus episodes.
All happening.
So just keep it on the socials at me. I am a memoir on your Instagram, on your Twitter, on your feces book. Or email us.
I am a memoir at gmail.com.
Yes, indeed. All right. Thank you very much, darling. Big Egg is this.
We can actually just make out now.
No, I'm not making out.
How dare you?
You are too randy.
I'll
for
make
me.
out with myself.
Well, just back to normal.
No one does it as good as me. Raw.
Bye, Emily.
Hey guys, it's Kayla Ewell from Directionally Challenged, a podcast about realigning your internal compass. New KFC chicken nuggets are finally here, and you have never had nuggets like these. All of the delicious KFC flavor you love in one amazing chicken nugget. 100% white meat, hand-breaded in KFC's original recipe. Order new KFC fried chicken nuggets now, available at participating KFC near you. Guys, they're finger-licking good.